everyone, welcome to the first episode of the CSSA Inside. I'm Mercy and I am the marketing executive at Birkin and also a proud member of the South End community group at CSSA. I have Paul Ashton with me. Paul is the CEO of Birkin and also chairman of CSSA. And today's episode is a special one where we're going to talk about the value of the CSSA membership and the vision. So, Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be here. Excited.
Yeah, nice to have you here.
Yes, thank you.
So, I would like to start with your personal journey. So, can you give me and for our listeners a bit of insight? So, every leader has their own journey.
Yeah.
So, how and when did you become involved with CSSA?
Sure. Okay. So, yeah, look, really pleased to be doing this. Very different, but I think in terms of the listeners, I think it's a great opportunity to talk about the CSSA, get our points across, and help members and potential members understand, why it's so great to be involved with us. So look, in terms of my own personal journey, I have to thank Darren Marston, who was the chairman of ICE equipment, and we dealt with each other through business to business, and he could see there was a passion for technology and innovation. And at the time, he was chairing the Innovation and Tech Executive, and he said, "Look, come along to one of these events." Because if I'm being really honest, it's one of those things where Sue Bartholomew, my technical director, obviously, has been in the industry a long time, very proud to say she's going into the chair for BIX. But, it was Sue who sort of said, look, I think it's something you should get involved with. And then when Darren said to me, look, Paul, I'd like you to get involved with the Innovation and Technology Executive, to be fair, I just jumped at the chance. I thought, look, this sounds really interesting. But I didn't really, if I was being really honest, I didn't completely understand what the CSSA was about. And it's only really since that journey back in 2018 that I've just kind of become more and more involved. And coming from more of a facilities management background, it was kind of, when I kind of bought Birkin as a minority shareholder back in 2016. And, I found myself in this industry, very focused, quite cliquey at times and quite, I'm sorry if that offends everyone. But having said that, since becoming involved with the CSSA, my network has just gone from strength to strength. I've met people, got direct access to people who I just feel very blessed and respect hugely, from, seeing, getting to know Doug, the previous chair, that phenomenal business that he's built up with his team, and it's great to see them, go from strength to strength. Darren, for me, it was that ability to kind of connect with the Innovation Technology Executive by getting involved. We ended up with the Innovation Showcase. And then when Darren decided he wanted to step down from the role, it was a fantastic opportunity to kind of put my hand up and say, go on, I'll do it. And I took over as the chair for that executive. And then, I was extremely proud and honoured to be, to kind of have the opportunity to then go for the chairman role and just really continue that trajectory of trying to change perception. I was often said, the CSSA, it's an old boys club. And you only have to look at the board. The board is 50% female. It is there's always work that can be done in diversity and inclusion. I agree with that. But this idea of being an old boys club, it certainly isn't. I was what you could call an outsider who's been embraced by the association. And look, I'm ever grateful for the opportunities. I think the MBO I've completed and the investment, all that sort of stuff, I feel like the knowledge I've gained and the exposure from the CSSA has all been a contributing factor. And now as chair, the amount of things that we're working on now to really raise the profile, ramp up activities and really ultimately drive engagement. I'm honestly really excited about it.
So for our listeners who's not familiar with CSSA, Can you give us a bit of overview what CSSA means, not just for you, but for our members? Sure.
So look, we aim and we want to be the voice of our membership. If we look at the statistics, we already represent over 25% of our, when we look at the membership base, that the size and the breadth and depth of that membership is the equivalent of over 25%. So in terms of stronger together, we're already making great progress. When we look at the top 10 organisations, we are really focused on targeting them. We've already got the likes of OCS, Mighty, we've got some really big names, but we've also got some really dynamic SMEs as well. So, and there's some additional people getting involved as well that I think is going to really mix it up. So in terms of why and the benefits, we are I would say, the dominant trade association that is representing service providers. And really, it's about helping our membership, comply, grow, succeed, and really gain access to insights. Hence the name of the podcast. For them, for all of our members to connect with like-minded people. I'm hugely proud of our industry. I really do believe we have a significant opportunity by embracing tech to really add huge value to the wider FM industry and actually change perceptions. So yeah, that's really why I would say, get involved and be part of it. And I can see it within my own company, Birkin. We have gone from strength to strength. The sharing of kind of war stories, the lessons learned. And don't get me wrong, still make mistakes. We're only human, but I want us as Birkin to be able to impart, and pass that on to other members who are also on their journey in the same way that I feel like I've learned from others on my journey with being the CSSA member. So, just on that same theme around value of being a member, that helping businesses grow is important, because that access to information, allows, and sharing of news and what's going on and latest trends gives you meaningful insights to actually help you run your business. And actually, I think what we're doing now in terms of these community groups, and I'll come on to that a bit later, but in terms of actually the bringing of like-minded people, not just at a CEO level, I think there is benefit to that, and I certainly feel as a company owner and a CEO, I feel that I have got huge benefit from that. But there's also this piece around, I am very blessed with the people I have within my organisation, just never cease to amaze me. And actually, by connecting them with other like-minded businesses, because remember, being a CSSA member is a symbol of you being a proper business, a quality-led business, a business that has principles, that has processes, that has procedures. It's a seal of quality in many respects. This ability to kind of make sure that we are compliant, and we've all had to deal with different potential governance issues in different ways, and then we're all this journey together. I think this whole piece around the apprenticeship levy, we've already been speaking mostly about ideas around how we can support the BCC, support BICS in getting the message across, because this rhetoric around being stronger together is real. It's important. We are, if we're going to be recognised and raise our profile, we need to be seen to be unified. And this idea of, I can't talk to Tom over at Principal, or I can't talk to Morton at Chamberlain, those days have got to stop. We've got to share, because ultimately, the more we all move forward, so we've all got our own secret recipes, but ultimately deploying robotics or embracing technologies such as sensor tech and IoT, or sharing lessons learned around how we procure and buy and go on the ESG journey and learn about what does ESG really mean, are we really making an environmental impact? Where are we adding social value? And actually, what are we doing to make sure we evidence how we walk the walk? So on a governance level, and I think really we want to help all of our membership understand, capture ourselves doing the things right, and make sure we're maximising that. And then with I'll come on to community later, but there's this piece around the CSSA having a role to add value to you as a member by, if you're practicing, or you are demonstrating best practice, we want to shine the spotlight on you to enable you to go and ultimately sell to your clients, potential clients, by saying, look at this amazing work we're doing. It doesn't matter the size you are as a member. It's more about what you do, how you walk the walk, and how you are contributing to helping us move our industry forwards.
Thank you, Paul. So you already mentioned the community groups.
Yeah.
So this is something new.
It
just started, if I'm correct.
Correct.
So where did you get the idea, and what are these community groups? What the added value for members and also for the team members of the community group?
I would say a lot of this was born out of engagement with the members when I first took on the chair role, speaking to existing members and some people that weren't members. There was the good old boys club, and there was this, I'm not really sure what you do. And actually, when I kind of took that back to the main board and actually reflected on why I got involved, it was about connecting, with what I believed were like-minded people, and they are, and you know what, that ability to speak to other business owners and other people involved in the industry in a non-threatening, safe environment, actually for me was massively valuable. And I don't feel like I've ripped anyone's ideas off, but at the same time, I have got the big, my network of contacts and industry colleagues who have become really close friends was all out of being involved with the CSSA. And actually that was great at CEO level, but I've got, in my own business, I've got a huge amount of talented individuals who have all, they are ambitious individuals who want to get on, and I want to support their careers. And actually, the idea came about with saying, right, okay, well, there are plenty of rising stars out there who are potentially not really clear about how do they move forward, how do they increase their knowledge, how do they increase their own networks. So it felt like a natural progression. So, the main board, the majority of, in fact, all of us have kind of day jobs, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. We are, the association, all of us is voluntary. We're doing this because we believe in the greater good and we believe in making a difference. And actually, we felt like, we need to engage at a different level, because if we're going to scale the association, we need to give people a reason to, almost when they are looking for their next job, the question should be, are you a CSSA member? And would you support me getting involved within the community group? So, the way it's structured is we have a rising star chair, we have a rising star kind of heading up a core function within that community group. And the idea is that, whether it's ESG, social marketing, whether it's, innovation technology or HR diversity inclusion, the team, the community group is targeted and focused and, let's face it, motivated by setting up purposeful events that are relevant to all levels of businesses. So, and the idea is that it shares knowledge, it encourages best practice, it shares best practice, it gives people to ask questions that may not feel comfortable asking to maybe their line manager or within their own organisation, but being able to glean new information and new ideas from within those community groups. So I know some of the ideas have been around, robotics, and I know as part of this podcast, future podcast, there will be various different topics likewise. But the idea is that there could be just one idea, there could be one about using robotics in the education space, and it might be that we have, representation or operational representation from Birkin. It could be from Pergo, it could be from OCS, and then we would look at engaging some of other members. So, ICE equipment. So the idea is that each event isn't just about going out for beers. Don't get me wrong, we want social to be an important part of it, but ultimately we want every single person that comes to a community group leaving that event feeling like they've learned something new and they've met someone else within the industry. And that's the real kind of motivation behind it. I've already kind of been involved with a couple of with the southern and the northern community groups already. The ideas that are coming through are really refreshing, and I think again that opportunity for members to engage with us as the CSSA will just increase tenfold and beyond.
Yeah, it sounds super exciting actually, and being one of the members of the Southern group, I'm really looking forward to our next meeting, and especially the one which is coming up soon together with the Northern group. So I cannot wait. Let's see what we can put together. And Paul, can you share with us, if one of our members would like to be involved with the community groups, how can they do this?
In terms of how to get involved, for us, we really want to grow the association. We want to grow the CSSA, and to do that, it's all about membership. So there's this piece around driving value for existing members, but also really opening the door to new members. It doesn't matter what the size of your organisation is. If you believe in a better future for our industry, if you want to make a difference, if you want to have a voice, if you want to connect with like-minded people, there's lots of ways to do so. By all means, you can drop an email to info@cssa-uk.co.uk. You can go to our website. You can pick up the phone to John Findlaty. Drop me a message on LinkedIn. Drop message on our own CSSA LinkedIn page. The reality is there's lots of ways of getting in touch. We really do want to hear from you. We'd love your ideas. If you think we're missing a trick, if you think there's something that we could be doing, by all means, please get in touch. We are open-minded. We are looking for we're looking for different perspectives. So it would really help us if, to just really continue to drive. We understand the industry is dominated by SMEs, and actually we have a huge role to play, all sizes of businesses, in terms of moving the industry forwards and gaining recognition that we so rightly deserve. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. And then you just mentioned moving the industry forward. So my question is, what's next? What's next for CSSA? What is our vision?
Yeah. Well, look, we want to grow as an association. We want to make sure that we are supporting all of the other trade bodies that are involved, and there are many, I get it, but ultimately we provide proper, real, genuine advice from a service provider's mindset, from a service provider's perspective. We do want to challenge the government. We do want to support, BSA, BCC, CHSA, BICS. There's lots of abbreviations out there. I would say that the key thing about ourselves and where the CSSA will move forwards is this interaction, this bringing of like-minded people, this sharing of best practice in a really tangible way. It will be very easy in the future for people to get involved with our association, and this is why the community groups are so important, because it will be the feedback that we glean from that engagement that will ensure that we keep creating more and more events for all different levels, whether it's a CEO event like the one we're holding at Coots, where we've got economist Roger Martin Fagg, we've got Professor Rob Holdway, presenting on ESG and launching the benchmarking analysis we've been doing. So the future for the CSSA, for me, is exciting. There are lots of external challenges going on. Let's not beat around the bush. All the listeners, the members out there will be, fatigued, exhausted by the journey through COVID, the external economic challenges we're facing at the moment. But at the end of the day, we should be proud. We provide a fundamental element of facility services. Buildings do not function without the work that we do. We are in a place where technology is advancing. It could be a threat. I ultimately believe it's an opportunity. Let's embrace it. The CSSA will be your go-to for learning, sharing, understanding how to get the most, and really go on that journey and support you as you evolve, as you adapt, and as your business grows and succeeds.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So look, hopefully that gives you a clear explanation, for all of the listeners around how to get in touch. I have to say, as chair, it's been amazing to see how the membership levels are already increasing. So far we are up on last year numbers, all sort of 9 months in, and I know John is in the process of is kind of processing a number of other new members as well. So look, stronger together. Really great to see. Thank you for all of the new members. Thank you for all the existing members, and genuinely, really can't wait to kind of keep this moving forwards and really get all involved. Thank you.
Thank you for all of our listeners joining us today, Paul and myself. And if you would like to be involved and you have any idea what we should address in the CSSA Insight podcast, please contact us. You can just drop us a message on LinkedIn, on our LinkedIn page. You can drop a message to Paul on his LinkedIn, or you can just email us at info@cssa-uk.co.uk email address, or go on our website, and you can also email us through the website. Thank you so much, and we look forward to see you again next Monday.